Good morning, fellow steppers and friends. Welcome to Nanny's Crafty Cafe. I am located 20 minutes northeast of Winnipeg in Cooks Creek, Manitoba. And today is hump day. It's Wednesday, right? I hope it's Wednesday. Okay, I'm not fully set up because I was too busy trying to find things and, of course, lost track of time while I was trying to find things. So I lost my earbuds. So here we go. Let's make sure we are live and running. So don't forget to like, comment, and share, and you can win this week's cards. As well, if you place an order, a minimum order of $60, then you will qualify to receive $6 in bonus for bonus days to spend next month. And you'll also receive a free kit to create the 5 projects we have this week. So that's something I used to do and something I wanted to continue to bring back after having so much fun doing other things. So couldn't come by. I just dropped paper, so I'm just trying to pick it up. Okay, not much news to report. It's just the same old stuff, so I'm going to spare you that today. But what I wanted to bring to you was Product of the Month. Product of the Month, if you've never heard of it, is a new program that Stampin' Up! Is offering. And it has replaced Celebration. I'm not sure if any of you know Celebration, but we used to have Celebration for a 2-month period where for every $60 you got to pick a free item. Good morning, Shell. How are you today? And now that times are changing, products are constantly changing. We offer online exclusives every 2 months. We have a mini catalog at least twice a year. And then we have our annual, plus we have kits every couple months as well. So Celebration just didn't seem like it fit the mold, as well as the fact that we are moving and evolving in the crafting industry. So here we are and offering Product of the Month. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Christine. Thanks for joining me. Kathy, I'll see you at bingo tonight, so I'll bring you your draw wins from last week. Congratulations on winning the card set. And Christine, I'm dropping by Barb's today, so you can get your DSP share sample pack from her tomorrow. Okay, so I thought I would just share that real quick, even though no one cares, no one else matters, but at least you know what I offer. Okay, let me take a sip of my coffee while it's hot. So in December, Product of the Month kicked off, and it started off with a DSP pack, all in the blues. Love, love, love it. Now, I didn't do a sample page for this because it's not a product that will stick around forever. However, it is a product that sticks around until it runs out. So when you create an order, I'm just going to flip through here so you can see all the different colors here, or the different papers on one side. So this would be, I guess, the A side. If you place a minimum of $100 order, you get to pick the Product of the Month. So here's the catch. You have to add it to your order. It doesn't automatically go to you for free because it's a choice. If you do not choose it, the next month, you'll get the Product of the Month from the previous month, as well as the new Product of the Month. So it keeps adding up, but you're only allowed 1 per account. So you get only 1 pack. So I only have 1 pack. Now you flip it over. Let me show you the B side. So December's Product of the Month was this, and I did not notice, but the majority of the paper, which like this one here, is not directional, so you can go either way. But I feel like this one, you can see here, this one, and even this one is directional. However, their front sides are sort of, I guess this one would be. It's gorgeous paper. I love it. I'm a big blues fan though, so, you know, for me, this is perfect. And then there's this one. Yeah, so there's like half the pack. 4 pages that are pretty much directional. Okay, so I wanted to just share and point that out because that's not normal. Usually there's maybe 1 or 2. So this was December's and this was January's, and I thought I would spend the rest of the week creating with this one because February 2nd, I believe, or 3rd, we'll get a new one. It's usually the first Tuesday of every month. We then get a new one. And I just tell you that all demonstrators do not get a sneak peek ahead of time as to what's coming. So just letting you know. So I don't even know what's coming. I just know it's coming. So far we've had paper and we've had a stamp set. Now, all of these, because it's a new program, is being introduced right now for $5. So every time you spend $100, you can pick up this one or this one for $5. When the new annual catalog rolls out in May, it's gonna jump to $7. I know, big break in the bank, right? So anyway, I thought we would create with it. So let me show you the card we're going to create today. Now, I've already prepped all my pieces because I didn't want to waste your time watching me. So this is going to be quite a short video, I think. But I wanted to just really focus on what you have because I feel like these are freebies. And I've had customers already who have contacted me and said, oh my gosh, I forgot to add the product of the month. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do. You have to call head office. And because they didn't realize that you actually had to look it up, product of the month, and then click and add it to your cart. And then some people didn't realize there was more than one. So right now we're at 2. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware. So this is the card we're going to create right now. So this pack pretty much features Balmy Blue and Night of Navy, 2 of my favorite colors, because you know it's blue. And I'm just going to point out the fact that I did some fussy cutting. So on this sheet here, which has all the flowers, these gorgeous flowers, I actually took out the flowers and fussy cut them. And they're pretty close together because there's 2 different flower sizes, and then there's this one, and then there's that one. And so as I was fussy cutting, I'm like, well, I might as well just keep going and start cutting these ones because then maybe I can do something with them. So I did, but my plan was to just keep it along the top. So if you get this paper, the February's prize is going to be really special and we are going to love it. Oh, really? Okay, awesome. I'm glad you've heard that. That's sweet. Okay, I can tell you another trick too, but maybe I should leave that one for demonstrators on how to find out, but there's always ways. Now, remember, Stampin' Up! Is a global company, so there's ways to find out. So back to where I was. So it's got this pattern on the back, but anyway, my plan was to just kind of stick to that top row, but then that way I still have a 6x12 on the bottom to use for whatever I want, right? And then go that way. And also, by the way, I think the pre-orders are coming tomorrow, which is exciting, I think. So anyway, let's move on. So I fussy cut those pieces that I want already, and so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me because it is quite intricate and it is quite tight. And so, you know, I did them while I was watching TV last night with my hubby. It was a late night for us yesterday because we had soccer in 2 directions. So we were like, who's taking who? But then I volunteered again to be team manager on certain conditions and presented it to the parents at the meeting last night while our boys were scrimmaging. And I said, I'm only taking it on for the fall if the following happens. And they all clapped their hands and agreed. So hopefully that makes my life a little easier. Got it? What you get? You actually know what it is. It's always a mystery. Anyway, okay, so I've pre-cut some pieces. Okay, I'll show you. I've already fussy cut some pieces. And these were the pieces. Now this one was around these 2 flowers, and this one was around. So I pre-cut those, and then this was the edge, and I thought, oh, that's a perfect edge. I could use that for something, so we're going to put that one on the envelope. So then we're gonna play with these for the card. And then you'll need another strip. So you'll need a strip of balmy blue. This is just a scrap piece I had. So you definitely want to make sure it's 5.5 inches so that it goes across. After that, really, it's up to you because we're going to cut it. And then you need a piece of cardstock for the inside. So I went 3 3/4 by 5. And then a piece of DSP, which is 2 3/4 tall by 5.5. So that's going to sit here. So you can see it sits like that. But we're going to do some ripping. So you can either just leave it like this if you want, but I like to add a little bit of touch in there. I'm here to teach, right? And then this is the largest circle that we've used from the stylish shape dies. And I've said this a million times already. It's a must in your kit, in your collection, because you get all the different shapes. And this is the largest, which is a 3-inch circle. Yep, 3-inch circle. So perfect for scrapbooking and card making. Plus you get the banners. So, you know, make sure you have the stylish shapes dies in your collection. So then we have that. That's just to break up so the picture, and I didn't want it to go white. Like, I feel like white is not ideal. It should be vellum. Now, this card was cased by Ange McKay. I'm part of Rhonda Wade's training program, so we get tutorials, and this was one of her designs, and so I just tweaked it a little bit based on what I have available. And then also the textured notes dies is what I use. I use this slim one to heat emboss. Yes, I heat embossed again the sentiment from Fabulous Sayings to a Fabulous Friend. I really wanted to use Sending Love or Happy Birthday, but it was too big for this design, so I went with more of a slimmer design. So this one makes more sense. Okay, so that is what you need if you would like to repeat this card and you have these items. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we just have a Night of Navy card base, so your standard size. So we're just going to take our balmy blue and we're going to tear. So we did this last Friday on our fun Friday, not so fun Friday, I should say. And you just want, again, just a reminder to go in small motions. Don't go really fast, really quick, because then you're just not going to get a nice break. And this is cardstock. So you can see with our cardstock, unlike many others, the color goes right through the core, in the middle, front and back. Whereas two-tone cardstock, or a lot of the cardstock you get at standard stores, there's a white core. So choice. So if you'd like a white core, then go with our two-tone cardstock or cheapo cardstock you get from local stores. Otherwise, you're getting quality product right here. So we're just going to take this and we're just going to cut it in half. So you could get away with a 2-inch strip, I'd say. This is, like I said, this was scrap, so it's about 3 1/4. So I'm just going to cut it in half. So it doesn't matter how big or whatever. Don't worry if one side's bigger than the other, because honestly, you're layering it, right? It's just scrap, but you just got to make sure your scrap's 5 1/2. So now we're going to take this scrap and we're going to add it to here so that we have an edge. So your edge can be about 1/8 to 1/4. So just keep it to no more than that, because then it just hogs up too much of the front of the page. Like so. So now I'm just going to add adhesive. Keeping below that 1/4 inch. I'm using my glass mat to make sure I'm under that 1/4 inch. This way I don't have to deal with, this is something I learned at Virtual Retreat. I'm like, right, why am I putting all that glue on paper and getting my hands all messy, trying to lift it and flip it and turn it, when I can just put it on the base and then add my piece. Duh. So I'm like brilliant. Thanks, Melody. I think that's like my biggest takeaway because I use liquid glue because I love the fact that it doesn't dry right away. But what I don't like is I constantly get it on my fingers. I'm terrible with liquid glue. That's why I like Seal Plus. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just checking to make sure I'm straight. And I'm just a smidge longer. That's just bad cutting. And then we're going to do our other piece. So let's see if I bad cut this one. So again, we're leaving at about, I'm going to leave a little bit more than a quarter. I'm probably going to do 3/8. So just add in another 1/8 of an inch just because I really want that more visual. Oh, I forgot my initial. Okay, and then same thing, we're just gonna add that to the bottom there. So you can have as much exposure as you want on this side. Good morning, Margaret, welcome. Just drop that a bit more. I feel like I'm a little too high. Okay, so yeah, let's see, which side do I have too much on? This side, okay. So I'm just tapping to make sure that my one side is flush and then I have enough pattern showing here. And I'm just a smidge, like literally a smidge. Oh, that's gonna bug me, but well, I'm sure we'll be fine. Okay, so now this can go directly onto here. So see how that beautiful that looks with just, this is the, you're pretty much like your designer series paper does all the talking for you. Tells you how beautiful your project is, etc., etc. It looks like I cut my balmy blue too short, so I gotta make sure I center that properly. And not much else for you to do. Right? So these flowers, again, if you're coming on late or didn't catch me in the beginning, these flowers are fussy cut from the DSP. So I didn't stamp them. They're already there. Oh, this one I had to add glue because I don't know where I'm going. So here I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch at the top, 1/2 inch on the bottom. I don't even know if that's exact, but that's what it looks like. It looks like it's about a 1/2 inch either way. Now I'm going to just fix this a bit because it looks like my balmy blue is too short, not my DSP. So I'm going to fake the look per se. Don't worry, I'll mail you the prettier one. And leave it at that. Super simple, right? Okay, now vellum. Vellum is one of those where you don't want anyone to see the back. So the way my tip and trick is you take your vellum. See if you can see that on the white. If not, I can stick it on something else. So just bring, let's see here. I don't really have it. That should be okay. So we're going to use dimensionals because, you know, I love dimensionals. And we're going to pop these flowers up. So that's our 2 flowers onto there. So let me grab dimensionals. I'm going to use 2 sizes because we have a large space and then we also have a small space. So I'm just going to grab my Take Your Pick tool to make life so much easier. And we're going to start with the big one. And I'm going to add 2 minis. One on each of these leaves just to position it. Okay. So there you go. And then I could add a 3rd one. It's a little overkill. And then we're going to go to the big ones. But, you know, choice. If you love dimensionals, it's not overkill. Right? Okay. And there. And then I'll put my next one maybe over there. Okay. Now, if someone likes minis, they'd be like, do, 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 do. But anyway, I like them, but not that much. Okay. I'm frugal in my dimensionals as well. So I'm just going to take these off. Those mini ones are too hard for my fat fingers. So then I leave that there and that there. So yesterday my son had 2 exams. Well, one is banned, so I don't know if that counts. And then he has geography today. So I gotta make sure I take him in. It's like, oh, I don't have to go till the afternoon. I'm like, oh, I guess you're sleeping then. Okay, so then that one's gonna go like so over top. So I'm just gonna do a quick check, baby, check. So, because I don't want this flower to be off my page, and I want this closer to the edge because my sentiment is really long, right? So I gotta make sure that we're still good, okay? Because if I have this off to the side like that, then this would have to move like closer to the middle, which would look, I guess it would be fine. You would just center everything, and then that would not be off the card. So if you did put it in the middle, which you could do, which would then be something like that, and then I would just center it. I would center everything. But I'm going to go left to right because I want to stretch it along the card. So now we're just going to add a couple dimensionals on this one. Just going to put a couple big ones. One there and then one on the other side because that's all we need. So Virtual Retreat card kit, you can still get, and it was so funny because the demonstrators, like the artisan designers that were presenting, like Corey, Melody, Karen, Sarah, our CEO, she was doing them. They find it really annoying when everybody takes from the middle and then takes the edge. For them, watching them on the videos, they always took the edge first and then worked their way in strips across. I don't know why that was annoying. I mean, but it was hilarious because they constantly complained about it. Like, it's really annoying when I'm just like, really? So I thought it was funny. Anyway, okay. So now the beauty of this, because we used vellum and we don't want anyone to see, now we know exactly where we can put our glue. Because as long as we stay within that pattern, we should be good. And then no one will be the wiser. So I'm just going to put one there on top of that, one there, and then I'm going to do a big loop-de-loop around the image. Like so. Just for fun. Okay, maybe just because I can extend the video. Because we're gonna be done right away. Okay, so now I'm just centering that onto the front. And now, ta-da, you don't see any of the liquid glue. So that is the best way to do it from my understanding. But if you have a better way, then by all means do share. So I've already heat embossed this with white. You've seen me heat emboss so many times already. You're probably like, I'm so sick of watching her heat emboss. So I did it in advance. And we're just going to pull that off to the side there like so. And then, so that means on this side we just need glue, and here we need dimensionals so it pops up. So I'm just going to flip that over. And then I'm just going to add a wee bit of glue. So again, this is a great way where your designer series paper is doing all the work. All you're doing is cutting pieces and putting it together to make it look pretty. So, prettier, because it's already pretty as is. Do you ever notice you sometimes get designer series paper and all you want to do is not cut it and just frame it on the wall? And I've seen that. I've seen people take designer series paper and just use it as artwork because it's so pretty. Okay, I did that in my bathroom one time. But now I have the, I don't think it's available anymore, but the plant kit that was available with the 4 frames and the flowers. So that's what's in my bathroom wall. And I love it. And people comment about it all the time. Oh, I like your photos. I'm like, where'd you get that? Winners? And I'm like, no, Stampin' Up. It's a kit. So yeah. Okay, so there's the front. Now we need to finish it off with some embellishments. So I'm going to bring in those Moody Palette dots. I think so. Oh, Moody Palette Glossy Dots again, which is one of our new products. And I'm going to add the dark, I think it's Secret Sea actually, but it matches night and navy. And I'm gonna plop 3 down. Maybe I'll use a big one. I think I used a little one on the other ones, but I'll use one big one over here, there. Now you'll see that my vellum is a little curvy-wurvy. Thanks, Christine. I agree, right? Like, it's just amazing. But don't worry, because this will flatten. If it does bug you, you can add a dot of glue underneath that one and hold it down because, hey, it'll still hide. But because my vellum curled a little, no clue why, it will go flat in the envelope. Okay. So now, I made this one a little smaller. 3 3/4 by 5. That's what Angela did, so I figured I might as well follow it. But it's a good thing because we're going to use these flower pieces. So, just going to get our adhesive again. And I'm going to add some adhesive. My pet peeve is when someone takes liquid adhesive like this and goes, fills the whole back side of the card. I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? There's so much that is quality glue and has so much adherence. Like, it's amazing. And honestly, you know, this glue, like you've been using it for years, and I pull out scrapbooks and they're not falling apart. Like, they're still together. My pictures aren't falling down or off to the side like some other adhesives. It works. So don't waste. Use effectively. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little dollop on that stem. Just saying. Oh, I'm moody like my dots. Just kidding, I'm not. Okay, so now this is that little flower, and I'm gonna add it here at the bottom. And I'm gonna go off my card base, or my card layer, the white. Because I want it to stretch. And that's the inside. Now, how pretty is that? Right? And again, I didn't stamp a thing except for the sentiment. Talk about inspiration not happening. Just pure DSP goodness. Okay. And then I'm like, well, I have this piece. So now I'm going to take this piece because it's so pretty. And I'm going to stick it here in my corner. Or I can add it right up here onto the flap. Either way, because you know what? It's going to get glued anyway. But this was the corner, the edge piece of my designer series paper. So I have that perfect corner there. So I'm just going to add it to the front of my envelope. Because by the time you put if you're like me, I have return address stickers. So then it'll just cover that up, and then you have all this. So imagine someone getting this in the mail and going, what is that? So I think that's another thing I learned at Virtual Retreat was like, you know, the envelopes don't have to be plain. Why are we not decorating our envelopes? So I'm like, oh, I feel like I need now, after doing how many? A dozen? So it's now becoming a habit, per se. So again, I'm just going to lift this up. Okay, tweezers, because I don't want to get it all over my fingers. Okay, and then now I'm going to find that corner, which is this corner here, and I'm going to line it up to the bottom. And then slide it in. Liquid glue, so we have lots of time to flex. Ta-da! Okay, so there's our envelope. Love it. And now there's still plenty of room to write the address to whoever you are sending smiles to. Now this one, I had this little one and I thought, perfect, it can go right here. Kind of like, you know, when you used to do those marker thingies. What do you call it? When you have that paste or liquid, no, not liquid, that paste, and then you stamp your logo or your Back in the day, I guess it would be your house name. What are those things called? That thing. So that I think would be perfect right here. So then once you seal it up, you'll see the back side of your envelope like so. And then you pull it out and you see this beautiful thing, and then open it up with your personal. You have always decorated. Oh, nice. Good job. Good job. I appreciate that. Okay, so that's it. So that's that one. And then this was my original. So again, let the designer series paper do all the work for you. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. Have a fabulous day and happy stamping.